Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Jaune Arc armour and sword. Now we're going on to the sword. Now if you've seen the previous part, you know I had 2 weeks to build the whole thing. I got basically finished the whole design of the shield. Now we're on to the sword. Now I've got some reference images from different things. Fortunately, this one isn't as easy as the shield was to find images and that. So I've actually borrowed some images from other people's that I've made, looking at how they've done certain things, give me an idea. And I like the concept of what this person did, where it's 3 pieces that attach together, because I feel like I can quite easily do that. So that's what my plan going forward is. All I do know is that I've got to make it so that the sword can fit inside of the shield. There's no point in doing that and then going, oh, okay, that doesn't fit. So for this, I won't actually be like comparing the size of the sword to the size of Jaune. I will be comparing the size of the sword to the size of the shield that I already have. So I know the shield is pretty much accurate to as it is, in my opinion. So adding the, like, scaling what I already have to the sword shouldn't be that big a difference. Might look a little bit different, but as long as they fit together and one can go inside the other, that's fine with me. So that's the plan going ahead, and I will get back to you when I have drawn it out. So I'm going to draw out half of it, like from the middle, like sort of this set half, so then I can just flip it over and use the other side to get it the same. So time-lapse time. Okay, little bit of an update. Right, I've done all the drawings onto it, cut it out, and I don't know how much I've shown, I can't actually remember. But I've decided that I'm going to actually already thinning it, because I'm going to take off just so it's 1.5 centimeters thick instead of about 2 mil thick, because it's just, or even if I, like, it had to be cut down anyway and it would have been thin enough to fit in, but it was, to me, I was looking at angles of what it would be from point to edge, which will end up being, it just looked too thick, not like a sword. And I know some prop swords are probably thicker than that. I'd rather just go that a bit thinner, and I don't think 1.5 centimeters is going to be that thin that it's going to break. I think that'll still be fine. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm actually going to show you me sanding all that off, because it's a bit different type of way I will do it compared to other type of sanding. If I had a planer, which I don't, I would have done it that way, but I also don't know how a planer works on this type of wood, so it would have been a bit max. So I'm just going to sand it. I've got it drawn round on the outside where the line is, and hopefully I can get it flat. It will be time-lapse though, and I'll probably cut the audio as well, because it will just be a noise you will hear. So let's go. I'll now tell you what I was going to show you. So, before it cut out, I was getting this down to 1.5 centimetres, and I did that. I got it down to 1.5 centimetres. But then I had the decision. I mentioned earlier that I was going to have, like I'd seen in, ooh, if I can find it, like I'd seen in this one, a sort of rod which I used to connect it all. And I thought, well, the more sanding I do, the weaker it will become near the middle. Like, right, I'll drill the hole to start with, and all I did was got this drill bit and a drill, drilled down as far as I could. Now, this is the doweling I'll be using, which is obviously the same thing.
There we go. I'm from the future. I have grave news. Don't use wooden doweling.
I'll put that in there, probably with a little bit of glue in there when I'm finished, and that'll go in so far, attaching that, and then the handle, which should still be glued at the top, will be slid onto that, with then the excess handle being slid onto another bit there. It'll not be this long, but yeah, that's what's going to happen. So this will be the core in a sense, but it's not going to be removable. It's just going to be, that's how it's holding together. So now what I've got to do is draw a line down here all the way through the middle, and then I'll have to sand to this, from that line to the middle line, so this edge to a middle edge, making that the, obviously the same on that side, making that the shape of. Hello, back again. So I've just done one edge of the blade, and I can really see it starting to take shape now as a sword, because I didn't know how well that would work. But yeah, doing a bit slow sanding, took it away. I did get a little bit, because that was near the, I started at that end, I did get a little bit of a nick there, but I'm sure that's something I can sand out later and get doing, especially considering it's mostly over this edge, which won't be there anyway, so I'm sure that'll look good. But now I think I'm going to do the same side, which, because I've already got it marked, then I'll so that's one side of it done. Yeah, I really like how that is actually looking. Not too sharp either. Nice. Obviously there'll be a little bit more work done on this side eventually when I've done the other side, just to get it all nice and even. But I'll start on that side now. there we go. Another side done. I assume this is still filming. Yep, just checking. So I can see there's still one side left, this side. Now that'll be exactly the same process as I've done on all the other sides, so I'm not going to bother filming it because I don't want to keep running out of memory on my camera, which I seem to keep doing and somehow still not realising that I'm doing it. But anyway, yeah, so it'll just be exactly the same, just on the opposite side obviously. So I'll come back to you when I've done that, and we should have a nice looking blade. Okay guys, there we go, the nice looking blade, yes. I am so super happy with this, how it's turned out. Considering I didn't know how to make this, if somebody had said to me, oh, make me a blade, without like I didn't Google anything or anything, I just went, okay, I think you do it like this, and it actually has worked. And that doesn't normally happen to me. It doesn't normally go, I think of an idea and then someone will be like, oh yeah, that actually worked. So the plan going forward will be to make the, what is that bit of a sword called? I don't actually know, because there's the handle, the blade, and the thing in between. You know what I don't know? I'm going to put it down, I'm going to write it there. And while I'm, like, because in a minute I'm off to get my tea, when I'm, like, waiting for my tea or whatever, I'm going to find out what it's called. So I can add it in post later. But yeah, I don't know what it's called, but I guarantee I'll see it in the next section. So, I'll see you in a sec, guys. Okay, so now onto the cross guard, which is one of the ways it can be called. There is many. Yeah, I looked it up afterwards. Yeah, there's one way that you can say it that I would have wrote down. I don't even know how you pronounce it, so whatever. But what I decided to do was, because I know what the width of my blade is, it's 6 centimeters across. I've printed out this, the one from the show and one somebody else has done blown up, to scale, so the blade is 6 centimeters wide. So I can effectively cut it out, and there's my template. Because it's kind of underwhelming, I'll be honest. If you look, if I hold the blade up to that, it's really small. Like, I never quite realised how short, and even if I go to that one, and Jaune's sword's slightly longer than this, if you remember from what I was saying earlier, like, it's kind of underwhelming how little it is. So that's what's going to be. Hello, so we're on day 11. Yeah, getting close to that con. Whew. Right. So, as I was saying last night, I have done this bit and sanded those bits. They'll need a bit more touching up, but it's split, if you can see here, down there. Now, that's not going to be that big a problem because I've glued it, and it's because when I was drilling a hole here and here for the jigsaw to go in, that's what split it. And obviously it probably happened the same way. I don't know why it didn't happen that way. I'm glad it didn't happen. Although I think there was a bit thicker wood on there compared to that side. I don't know. But, other good news, I haven't managed to go to my wood supplier to get some wood. But, as I was at work today, I spotted this on the ground, which is the end of an old broom handle. Now, I'd actually noticed last night as I was leaving that there was a brush out, and I'd measured the brush handle and was like, oh, that's about the right width. And then saw this, and I've done a bit of working out, and it wants to be about 14 centimeters long at least. And I mean, from where there's a full circle to the end, which is actually curved, is 20. So this is fine. Okay, so it isn't done, but we can get a pretty good rough idea of what it looks like now. I've just shoved where I've drilled the holes, the drill piece through, just to have a look. Now this isn't going to be as long as this is going to be, but yeah, we can see what it roughly is going to look like. I mean, everything will be glued into place when it's all done, and we will also, I'll also get a little bit of glue and sawdust to cover, like to go in places, to put in certain places, then fill them. Yeah, but I'll basically just now cut that to length, and then it will be literally just a case of painting. This, I guess this is the update to the shield then, because this is what I've got done. I got it painted. Oh, there's been a little scuff there. I'll have to repaint that bit, but yeah, that's all nice. And I forget how heavy this thing is. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but this wasn't spray paint after all. I didn't use spray paint. I found some other paint which was anti-damp paint in my house, and that was like, that's giving it a nice strong white coat. It was only because it was white paint as well, because spray paint, I was worried, wouldn't fill in the gaps. Well, it wouldn't do. Spray paint wouldn't fill in the gaps where there would have been tiny little gaps. And I was just like, okay, well, if I use proper paint that's got a bit of thickness to it, then it will like leave it nice and strong. Okay, now I know from experience that that is enough for one coat. So I'm going to leave that to dry. And you can see, obviously, it is taking on the silver like effect. I don't know how well you can actually see this because lighting, but I'm going to let that dry before even doing another layer, even though it doesn't seem that much on there, because going too heavy on it has always ended badly for me, so I'm going to take it a little step at a time. Right, so while I'm waiting for that to dry, I thought I'd do something that should be easy, and I'm going to just see how easy it is. So I've got some blue electrical tape. Wow, that's actually works way better than I expected it to. It's actually got a sort of pattern that it has spiraling up anyway, but what my idea was, because it's hard to tell if the light's meant to be the bottom or the top, so I guess it doesn't really matter. My idea was to somehow either spray paint this or spray paint that, and I might do this because it might just be easier, a very, very light coat of black, and then re-wrap some more of this round. It'll be a bit like more stunt the next time, and it'll just give it that effect of this, the light and the dark. So I've just been a bit of time away. I spray painted this just, and if you look really closely, I don't know how good this screen is for seeing, but it is just filled, like if you look really close you can see it's just loads of tiny little black dots, which is exactly what I wanted. So from a distance, even here, it's not super noticeable. It should make it look darker when I put this over the top. Here we go. We have the little end piece that needs to be gold, and obviously the big emblem. Now I've scaled up that scale, or just a picture, cut it out a little bit, making sure not to get any breakages. And I know it is a little bit bumpy, so I'm going to have to be careful with my spraying, so I don't want stuff to go underneath where the paper is. But it shouldn't be too bad at all. And I'll put this somewhere, hopefully you can see. What up, people? As you can probably tell, it's literally pitch black. It's about 10:30 at night, and you can't really see anything. But this, you can see that, is what happened. I gave it a second coat and then removed it. There is a few little imperfections which I'll have to fix later on. And this, which I just came to come check on, it looks pretty good actually. So I can have a better look at it now. Let's have a look then. That actually looks fine. I don't think I need to even give it another coat. I think that'll do. So now we've got that. Here is the blade, which I've been painting with the spray paint. Now, that side's come out a lot better than that side in some bits, and then in other bits it hasn't. It's odd. Like, that side had a smoother edge, but yet I've used the exact same sanding paper and everything on both sides. So I'm not entirely sure, but I think this side, because you can just see a bit more bumps than that on this one, I might just give that one another coat. But yeah, that's the wrap up for today. So we're really, I'll just hang on, I'll just lay this out so you can see it. So the sword really is coming together now. I've just got to cut off a bit there and do whatever design goes on the end. And also, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, I did mention I'd ordered one. This is going to be the handle for the back of the shield. It's for like a music box. I ordered it online, really cheap, and I'm going to have two nice strong screws going into the back of the shield, and that's then what I hold. And then obviously we've got this belt here, which is going to be the strap. But yeah, everything is coming together nicely. I don't think there's anything else I've actually done today. Like I said, I've actually more or less finished the building. There's nothing else really to make. It is just a case of painting stuff, and that is the tedious job. Unfortunately, that takes a while. Hi guys, so I've got some good news and some bad news for the start of today. One, well, actually, before the good news and the bad news, I have forgot to start filming stuff, what I was doing, but I can just explain what I've done anyway. So, good news! I can now hold the shield. Yeah, painted it black, and then I've found these two wooden bits here to put round the bit of belt, and then the handle came the other day, which, oh, I know, I'm going to have to get used to holding this, because it's quite heavy still. But yeah, I can now hold it like a proper shield. The bad news is, the other day after I painted it, I went to turn it over to paint it black, and this happened over while it was drying. I don't know how you can see that. The paint and stuff came off. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So now I've finished the back though, that the back never has to be turned over again, I can fix the front now. Oh, I'm going to put this down a minute. I know I'm going to have to be holding that all of Saturday, but yeah. Also, in other news, I've shoved a rod, which I did 15 centimeters long, if you was wondering, into here, so that's all the way in. I didn't glue it because that's tight. This one here, I am going to glue though, because it like will come off. And where did I put it? It's fallen down here. I haven't spray painted it yet. It's got a bit dusty because it's just dropped on the floor. There's the end cap for the thing. I just used a bit of my aluminium tape to go round the bits, a bit of just round the wood at the end, and then this bit of cap here is one of those. I don't know how to describe it. As you open most like bottles or containers, like it snaps a bit of plastic and there's like a plastic ring thing on. Well, it's one of those off. I don't know what. I just found it. It could even be off. Where is it? It could be off something like this because it was that sort of thing. And then I've super glued, cut it to the right size, super glued it after I've put the tape around it. Not quite even. I don't know what happened there, but after it's dried, it's obviously not gone in quite the right place at one point. I'm not going to bother changing it because I kind of like the fact it's not perfect because that's very Jaune. But yeah, so all I need to do now, I'll also tape that end a bit more. So that needs to be glued in to there, with everything being glued, and that will be then the sword done. And the sword, obviously, ta-da, just sits nicely in there. I don't know whether yet to make a groove in the bit of this so it actually sits like this bit sits slightly below that. I don't think that'll be too hard to do, so I might do that, and it'll just stop it from doing that as well, because obviously it's not perfect. Hello guys, and welcome to day 14, hopefully the final day of this. Now this is what I'll show you. Da, 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 da. Fitting inside, I did the little grooves like I said I would, and yeah, the only thing is, yeah, I don't know if you can tell what that is. This, while just like basically showing it to my mum, snapped, like just straight off snapped. Now I thought a belt was pretty strong. So if a belt's going to snap, I need to find another way. Fabric belt. Now that might work better, because that's probably got, and in fact what I might do is, if I say this is it, or whatever I do next, I might double over to give it that even more strength. But yeah, belt literally snapped. Now, another thing, before this snapped, and I don't think I couldn't measure it super accurately because I had to use luggage scales, but I weighed the shield. Now I'm not going to tell you what the weight is, because what I want you to do is I want you to comment with your guesses on how much it weighs in grams. Yeah? So, there's a little challenge for you. Guess how much this thing weighs! Because I'll tell you something, it's not light. Okay guys, so, yes, the belt was the next best thing that I had. I've doubled it over, I don't know if you can see that, there's two layers, because I don't want it to snap tomorrow or Sunday. I honestly don't think that's definitely going to snap or come off now, because this is definitely a lot stronger than the last belt one. This is black and actually folds away a bit better than the last one. And maybe I've done it a little bit tighter. I didn't really, it's hard to, but yeah, it kind of folds away just as well without any problems. So, all ready for tomorrow. Now I'm not done with stuff I need to do with Jaune tonight. I mean, it's only 7:30. What I've got to do now, is repaint my, oh god, I need to, problem is standing that up without breaking it. What I need to do now for tonight, which I'm not going to show on camera because it's got nothing to do with this sort of, is just repaint the armour I made a long time ago now. If you liked what you saw through the entirety of these 2 weeks, I know they were all after work, but yeah, it still blows my mind that that was 2 weeks. Yeah, but if you liked what you see in these videos, please give it a like, because I know I have just made this for myself to use, but I've spent quite a few hours making sure I got footage to show people how I did it. Like, I'll be honest, I think I could have done that quicker if I was not thinking about filming. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if this is going to come out before the YCC video or after it, but link there to the YCC video, go check that out, because I know I will have had fun there. I know to me this is the future, but I will have enjoyed myself. I know I will have done. So if anything goes wrong with the Sword and Shield, that's where you'll see it. But yeah, this is the end, and I will see you next time I decide to make something. And you know what I say, it's not a mistake, just an idea you haven't had yet. See you in the next video, guys. Aha, there we go. I'm from the future. I have grave news. Don't use wooden doweling. This is a catastrophic event of using wooden doweling. It snaps. I've pulled the rest out and got the rest of the cans. So, future me, I guess that's present me for me, but then it's future you for past me. Whatever. This is how we're going to solve this problem. I'm going to drill this out so that this was back to the stage when I put the wooden doweling in. And I'm going to now put in this metal stuff. It's actually pipe. I don't know what it's for, but this is going to be the alternative. It should be far, far superior. So I'll drill this out and I'll put this in and I'll tell you something else in just a moment. Okay, so I managed to pull the doweling out of that bit, and now I've re-drilled the holes, just taking out what was the wooden doweling. It came out fairly easy. Now, I'm going to replace it with this. I'll have to cut it to a length. However, unlike the other time where I just shoved it in, and I think that one I did shove it in, the other one I did glue. Because this is metal and not wood, PVA won't work. But I'm not advertising, but this glue I know works brilliantly. It will hold it tighter than I would ever expect. It expands as well, which will help hold it in all the crevices. So I'll get this in, let it completely set for the 2 hours or whatever it is, then add the next piece on, let it completely set, and then do the final one, let it completely set. Because now there's no rush for how long it needs to be. The con's been and gone. But then I'll have this ready for the next time I need it. Okay, so after a bit of sticking on and then cutting off the excess and just putting a new bit of tape around just this end piece, it's looking pretty good. The seals look like you can't really see the gaps anymore. It does need a bit of repainting, which I'll do. But now what I'm going to do is just cut to prove to you how sturdy this thing is now. I'm going to give it a swing and stuff, and I don't know what else. But yeah, I couldn't get to do this at the con, so this is my fun time of getting to have a go using it. Here we go. Taking a little bit of damage, but that was so much fun.